Welcome to Paperweights, the podcast where two self-proclaimed gym rats and shooting enthusiasts delve into the world of literature with a sprinkle of humor. Although their biceps could crush a walnut, don't let that intimidate you. They also have a nerdy side. Mike and Brandon have a voracious appetite for reading, particularly in the fantasy genre, and they want to share their passion with you. So grab your protein shake and your favorite novel and join us for a humorous and insightful journey into the world of books with Paperweights.
Welcome back to another episode of the Paperweights. I am your host, Brandon.
And Justin.
And today we are discussing the first two parts. It's basically the first half of Golden Sun, Book 2 of Red Rising by Pierce Brown. So if you haven't read the first book, and you haven't read at least the first half of this book, you might want to turn it off, go read it, and come back and then listen. It'll be a fun discussion. If you've been around the podcast, today we're going to switch it up. We're going to try a different format. So if you've been around and you get to the end of this, let us know in the comments if you prefer this. Basically, we're going to shorten the summary part, and we've got some topics that we take notes on and try to discuss. Try to switch things up a little bit.
Yeah, it was feeling like we were getting bogged down and talking about what happened, which everybody has already read, than just actually kind of what was interesting about it.
Yeah, and it's hard doing this because it's difficult to remember everything that happened in all these books. So as you do the summary, you're reminded of it, and then it jogs in memory of certain things. For some reason, whenever I take notes, I go back and read the notes. I'm like, what did I write that about? What was happening when I wrote that? At the time, it made sense. But then reviewing it, but we'll see how this goes. So I'm excited. Before we get into it, though, we are sponsored by a Louisiana small business, Mudcat Whiskers. They are specialized in beard care products and men's grooming products. So there's conditioner or wash conditioner, balms, butters, oils. He's even got some shaving creams. And if none of that works for you, then he has colognes and candles. So head on over to his site, mudcatwhiskers.com. You can use code Paperweights at checkout, and that'll save you 15% and let him know that, hey, we're sending people his way. So, and whatever you buy, you're supporting kids learning in robotics. So, good on that. He just finished up the Louisiana Renaissance Festival. But coming up in January and February, he'll be out at the Acadiana Renaissance Festival. So if you live out in that area or you travel around to different Renaissance festivals, look out for his booth and tell him I sent you and buy something from him. So, all right. So we got before we get into the book, just Saints won, surprisingly.
Yeah, hell yeah.
They shucked it up.
They did. Took them long enough.
Yeah, I thought they looked actually pretty decent there. The offense looked decent, like able to do stuff. I think it was the first time this season they had a game with more than 2 touchdowns.
There might have been one or two in there, but it's been pretty bleak for most of the season.
Yeah, touchdowns have come at a premium for Louisiana football this year.
Yeah, it's been a rough sports season because also the Pelicans really suck.
Yeah.
So
LSU football sucked.
Uh,
But their defense was really good.
True.
But yeah, we got a new coach. Things should be exciting for next year, whether or not we're good or not. It should still be exciting.
Exactly.
Um, what else was there? Oh, I thought it was funny that Notre Dame got left out of the football playoffs, and then they just kind of was like, you know what? We're not going to play in a bowl game we got invited for.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So, but I mean, it's tough. There's no matter how many spots they put, somebody's gonna be left out. There's gonna be a discussion about who does belong unless they really revamp like the conferences and divisions and say, hey, you have to be the winningest record in this division or conference, um, and you get a shoe in, and then they look at records instead of looking at arbitrary things like strength of schedule, best win, eye test. Like all these are like subjective. I think the NFL kind of has that down to kind of almost like a mathematical science of, hey, you win, you're in. You get more wins than that team, you're in.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's eventually just going to become, I mean, it already is, but it's going to become a pro light because the problem has always been before this with college football is there's a billion teams. And the NFL there's only 32, but eventually there's going to just be a couple of conferences that play for the national title, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, well, they do things like, I mean, you don't typically have that same issue when we're looking at college basketball or college baseball. Like with college baseball, there is a conference tournament to determine the conference champion, but then you've got different regional um, playoffs, regional tournaments where there's going to be a winner, and different regional ones they feed into a super regional, and then if you win the super regionals, you go into the college World Series.
Yeah, the problem is you can't play that many games of football.
Let's do it. Let's just hit each other.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, no, I understand that, but it could be, what if the playoffs ended up being almost like the March Madness where you start off with like 64 teams?
well then you have to cut regular season games, which they don't want to do. I don't know. I kind of just liked it either before the playoffs or just 14 playoffs, and it's fine. I, I kind of I don't know. If I feel somewhat like an old man because like I hate the reshuffling of the conferences. I think
Oh, I hate that. Like they're
it's
about to add
stupid.
two more to the SEC. I'm like,
Yeah, it's just I don't like
they're
I don't care about
it's
A and
too
M
big.
and yeah, it's too big. So you ruin all the rivalries that lasted for 50 years, 100 years, and it's just I don't know. It's kind of like meh.
Is LSU's rivalry now technically Oklahoma?
I I mean no, but maybe technically.
I mean, rivalry week is like of
Yeah.
the last week of college football, and that they make us play Oklahoma in that week. Like
Yeah, that's
it was Arkansas. Like Arkansas was our actual rival game,
yeah.
and then they made it into Texas A&M, and now they replaced Texas A&M with Oklahoma.
Yeah, like we've lost Florida. We don't play Bama every year. It's just bad.
Yeah. Uh, Auburn, we don't play.
Yeah,
Haven't played Auburn in what, 2 years now?
something like that.
Yeah, crazy, absolutely crazy. I mean, we did play Florida the last 2 years.
True. I think it's the scheduling's all weird.
Scheduling is weird, but all right, let's get off of the subject of sports. But hey, got to tie in paperweights somehow with athletics and things like that. So
Yeah. Now we go to the game of houses.
let's go.
All right. So before we get into it, we're gonna try out this, like Brandon said, this new little format, little bit more segments and kind of deep diving into characters, world building, all that stuff. But we're gonna give a little summary. But just Brandon, overall thoughts on book two before we
Uh,
dive in.
I think it's strange. Okay. Um, I have very mixed and conflicting thoughts and opinions on it. Overall, I like it. I want to continue reading it. Um, but I think it has a couple of problems. Um, First of all, it does fix the problem that the first book had where the subject matter is dark, but the writing is youngish. The writing is a little more, I think it's drastically improved. It fits more with the dark tone of the story. Um, the other things, the other two things, without going into other details that we can get into later, are um, one, I think there's too many twists and surprises. Like it never establishes a like if you think about video games, right? So any video game, if we pick like Kingdom Hearts or Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, right? You go to a planet and then you're going to be on that planet for a little while. You're like, okay, I'm on this planet. There's going to be all these things that I need to do before we get off and go do something else. In this book, like, anytime they go to some place, like within that chapter or the next, it's like, oh no, we're going somewhere else. We're not going to be where we just established that we're going to
Yeah,
be.
it's like the pace is insane.
Yeah, it's
Like this is
hard to,
like this is like the polar opposite of like Wind and Truth.
yes, it's hard to, and with that, it's hard to predict um anything.
Yeah.
I also think that there is some good character development, but we don't see enough of the characters around each other for long enough to really feel a sense of relationship building.
Yeah, I feel
So,
like that will be more. It kind of felt like with the fast pace, and it's kind of just this book, but we could get into it later. But kind of felt like he was trying to speed run to where we're at, where like Dara has a ship, and there's like the war happening, and he just kind of was like we vomit out these crazy events. It's like so much shit happens in this section, which we'll get to. Um, it's kind of insane. Like it
yeah,
could be like three books getting up, leading up to this, um, like revolution. I will say in my so for me, I have really enjoyed it. I was kind of apprehensive because I didn't really like book one. It's really slow and weird. Like it feels like this is the book he wanted to write, and like book one was him getting his sea legs or whatever. Because like man, book one is kind of boring. Um, just plotting with the school shit. It's all school stuff. So I really enjoyed it because I was when I started, I was like, but then it's just so fast paced and crazy shit happens. It was kind of fun.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's fun overall, and I
I do,
do like it.
I do agree with you. It's like, oh, okay, that's happening now. All right, oh, that's happening. All right, well, shit, okay, cool. And it's just kind of like whiplash, as a. But we can get into it. Um, I'm just gonna give a general summary before we dive deeper into it. So basically, this is 2 years after the end of the book one. Starts off with Darrow. He's like in the academy, learning to be like an admiral, basically. He gets betrayed because they like to betray people, and his he gets disgraced from the academy because of the House Belladonna or Bellana, whatever.
Alana.
Bellana. I always want to say belladonna for the flower. That's Cassius's house, who has spawned blood oath. His like older brother beats him, and then Dara gets beaten up in the showers, and gets disgraced. So his contract is gonna get voided for some reason, whatever. And so there's like a whole thing where he's like gonna get killed by the Bolana family once the galley is ended and shit's happening. A lot of internal politics with Augustus, the Nero Augustus, leader of Mars, and like shit that's going on. Um, his like people in House Mars are what Victra starts with a
Victra
V.
is Antonia's sister.
Yeah, Antonia's sister, who seems to be in Tadero, and Tactus, the guy was that was in book one that was like betrayed his house, and so they're there.
And Pax's family. So
Yeah,
his brother and his father are there as well.
yeah. There's a lot of early on.
Oh, you forgot Pliny though, but
Yeah,
uh,
Pliny is the this dude who's like screwing him over for some. We'll get into that's a weird thing. It all comes to a head. He ends up like he's gonna okay. A lot of shit happened. He's gonna blow himself up in the at the gala and kill all the red or kill all the golds because his wife was pregnant and not Dancer, the other chick, was like, "Hey, you could blow yourself up because Dancer's dead, but he's actually not." Um, but he doesn't go through with that. He ends up antagonizing Cassius into a duel, which he then pulls out of the Uno reverse. I've been really good, but secretly training and like kicks the shit out of him. Almost kills him. Exposes the fact that the Sovereign wants the B'Elanna family to like rule Mars. And she's like not impartial. She's actually like setting shit up on the side, which goes against their whole ethos. Then what happens is he gets recruited by the Sovereign and is like, "Hey, we're gonna kill all of House Augustus." And Mustang is there. Also, she was with Cassius, and she's with the Sovereign. But it turns out she wasn't with the Sovereign. She was just using her to betray her to get some stuff. Ends up they like go and rescue the house. Quinn dies, and then they escape into space. They have the grandson of the Sovereign. So much shit happens in this book. As hostage, but he gets taken away by Tactus as a betrayal, and then their ship is gonna get blown up by a giant armada out in space. So they like shoot themselves. Him and Severa, who's Severa's back, and the Howlers are back. They shoot themselves to the bridge of this giant spaceship and commandeer it and uh, cut a hole through space and escape to Mars. And that's where we end. He has this giant spaceship, and the war is gonna happen. There's like civil war. He has like a thing with the jackal and him. Yeah, yeah. We can get on to that later. That's kind of the brief, wild events of that fucking section of the book. Like I,
that's that's how he would have written it if he wrote it in the manner that he wrote book one.
yeah, yeah. Like from where it starts to where it ends is crazy. Like that's like two books.
Oh yeah. And like you mentioned it at the end, but one of the big things that could have been just briefly stated was before he decided he was going to blow up the gala, he met with the Jackal and then decided that he was going to ally with the Jackal to take down Pliny and Leto to take
Yeah.
back House Augustus.
Yeah, and then Envy blows up everybody because she's a terrorist now, and it's wild.
Evie and Harmony, yeah.
Yeah,
And we find out Harmony is against Ares.
yeah. We still don't know who Ares is.
Yeah, we don't
That
know
we'll
at
say that
first.
we'll save that for predictions, but yeah.
Okay.
But yeah. So yeah, that's the brief thing. It's fucking crazy. Um, we'll So what we have set up is we're gonna go through some world building stuff. We're gonna go like what we like and stuff. Then we'll go into like more character breakdown as we see it because there's some pretty cool characters. And then any like kind of like comments on the writing style, the pace, all that shit. And then if you want to theme, I'm not really a big theme guy, but we can go there if you need to. Then we'll pick an athletic feat of the week, which is what our characters did. That's crazy athletic, which is fun. Then our favorite moment, our least favorite moment, and then predictions. And if we have any more segments, we'll add 'em as we go. All right, so world building and setting. So for me, I thought this book like vastly expanded the world building of the books. All different houses, really getting into the different colors and making them be a little bit more like actual people instead of like just like, oh, that's a red. That's like we get a little bit into the blues with that captain lady who seems pretty cool. Um of this of the Pax, that renamed ship. And then like I think we're gonna get a lot into the Obsidians with Ragnar. Apparently they're like Norse people, which is weird.
So are the stained is that their um racial slur? Is that the racial slur for Obsidians is stained, or is stained something completely different?
So what I thought, and this is just me thinking, is like they're like the peerless scarred of the Obsidians.
The
I
stained?
don't, yeah, I don't know if that could be totally false. That just kind of because they're like the stained, and I was like, oh, okay. Like I thought because he's also just kills like 1,000 people when he
Yeah, I mean they're
shows up.
revered, like
Yeah,
fear, or they're feared, and like, oh my God, these are like hideous creatures. Now, like
yeah,
it, and to go into that, step back a bit, a second. I like that he kind of hard writes and gives us at the beginning of the book a breakdown of the color hierarchy
mm,
and explains each color and the roles that they typically play, what they're specifically bred or carved sometimes to do. Um, and you know, we get we get the Obsidians, which were, like it says, they're creatures, a monstrous rare race bred only for war. Like, okay,
yeah.
it
And then we
just
get we get the story from Mustang and Dara where they get religiously taught not to touch each other,
oh
which
yeah,
was crazy. Um,
like they do it for breeding, for killing,
for like medicine, for like
and
doctoring.
medicine, and I think eating.
Yeah,
And
and
there's like four different reasons that they would touch each other.
yeah, so it's very like Dune with like the using religion to like shape populations. It's a little bit more realistic in Dune, but I do like the way it's handled here.
Yeah, and to go with the color, continue with the color hierarchy. The blues are like really cool. Like the this idea of them having almost like Lobot
Yeah,
in Star Wars, where they have like just implants, android implants that jack into things, and um, or even the Matrix, if we want to go further back, and
yeah.
just jacking into things. You can even go as far as Neuromancer if you've read that,
Mm.
because like Neuromancer was one of those first kind of cyberpunk stories, and Matrix kind of took from that a lot. Uh, it's just really, really cool, and you see it later on. Um, at the end when he takes over the ship and renames it Pax, and he's like, all right, I need a captain. And then like it's funny, he looked at, like, he's like, all right, this blue has these tattoos of these formulas. I recognize this one and this one, but then there's all these I don't know. And then other blues come and say, oh, that person. No, they don't know this. Like, I know this. And it was just like,
Yeah. It was also cool because she's like a rebel blue because she has like emotions and stuff. I think she's gonna be a cool character. Hopefully she just doesn't like die immediately. But
Yeah, she seems really cool, and the
I
fact, like,
think it was Orion.
yeah, I think that's her name was Orion, and she, like, she didn't argue back after the others piped up, and she was the first one to speak up, and that's when he's like, "All right, you're the captain now."
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of, we also got Greys. They're like built bred for like po military police occupations. I guess kind of like not more like shock. Not the shock troops would be the Obsidians, but more like regular ass grunts would be the Greys. So you got some of them, which is interesting.
Like
Um,
Space Marines.
basically, yeah, yeah. Because we got it was interesting when we had like the squad of them escorting Darrow into the lower realms, and they were like very much like a tight-knit military squad, which was fun.
Was that
Uh,
when they first arrived on Luna?
yeah, and Victra was like, "You need to go here and meet with the Jackal," and he shuttled him over. Um, yeah, so it was fun seeing all the grade.
Oh,
Um,
and with that, they had to disguise him what as a gray or an obsidian.
I think there was Obsidian.
I think it was an obsidian because he was so large, right?
Yeah.
And that was the only one he could really pass off as.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. We also learned that the Mickey, the carver, is purple. So we find out that most of the carvers are purple. I don't remember learning that in the first book.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Um, yeah. So
And
as far as
she's
colors, that's kind of cool stuff. We'll explore that more.
hmm
Um, let's see, other world buildings. We were talking about the we don't have to go much deep into this one. It's just kind of an aside, but we were talking about razors and what they were like. It reminds me of in Soul Calibur Ivy,
Yep.
her whip sword,
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
and like it's stored wrapped up, and so there's something like they can
Yeah.
make it wrap up, but I mean it's still sharp when it tightens up. So if they wrap it around something and they close it, it will basically sever whatever is around it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I did like the I didn't write it down here, but the part viper, part scorpion
Mm.
uh things
Like
that
the Oracle or whatever, that could
the
tell if you're
oracles,
lying.
yeah, that the
Yeah.
sovereign had. Those were fun. I
Yeah,
legit thought that the sovereign was dead at that point, but you know, was
there's
was it Fitchner?
oh yeah, Fitchner.
Fitchner
Because
killed it.
he's the Rage Knight.
Yeah, that is another crazy thing, but that goes under characters, but that's crazy
Yeah.
that he was raised to an Olympic knight.
hmm Yeah, and it was cool seeing those creatures because they were like made by the carvers. So we might get more fantastic beasts.
You know what that reminds me of? The like the carving, the creatures that are carved.
Hmm.
It reminds me of the like the unhorses and the un
Mm.
things from Coldfire trilogy.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I wonder if that was something he took from there because it seems so much like it. Like they're like, we're just gonna pervert these things.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because in that book it's made through evolution. This seems to be made through like genetic manipulation. But yeah, I can see that. Uh, it's cool. We also for Stone World, but we get a lot of spacecraft stuff. We get some names of some frigates, and we get like power armor. We get a lot of like cool tools like stun fists and shit.
The space shells, that's
Yeah,
cool. It's like mechs,
yeah, basically, yeah.
space mechs. Leech crafts, I guess it's like kind of like boarding, like transports.
Yeah,
Like um
it seems to have like yeah, like in the classic, a lot of sci-fi has like ships that like launch and then like impact and detonate, and all the troops come in and start wrecking shop.
And a term I hadn't heard of before, and I don't know if he is just using it for here, if it's used other places, but like man at war. Like
Yeah, that's a term for an old big ship. It's like if you look at like the British and stuff, like the ones that have like the three rows of guns, those are man wars.
okay. I do think it's funny how like at the Institute they weren't supposed to kill, but they killed all the time. And then during the war games, they're like they don't give them real nukes, and I don't think they gave the ships real weapons, but like they had like, uh razors and other melee weapons, right? That they would
Yeah,
use. But I mean, they totally killed hundreds of people in these just like training
yeah.
scenarios.
Well, his ship gets like cut in half, and like I think it's like
It's like
two
800
thousand.
people.
Yeah, it's 800 people or 1,000 people die,
Yeah,
which is crazy.
yeah. Let's see. I don't know if these. I didn't really have a spot.
Yeah,
I
go
wrote a
for
lot
it.
under world building and setting. Um, but there's a lot of. Let's see. Let me reread this real quick. These go more with characters,
Okay.
character stuff. So if you have more on world building and
I'll
setting,
just do a little, then we can move on. It was just we got more into like the game of houses and the how the sovereign governs them, but it's like precarious because if like the houses feel too pressed upon, they're gonna like overthrow her because while she has power, she has to actually succeed some power. And like what it was fun reading how she like overthrew her father for like overstepping his bounds and stuff like that. And yeah, it was just kind of cool. It's like the more this book very much reminds me of Dune because there's a lot of that in Dune. Um, it's a little
I
bit
like
more
the
violent than Dune, but
I like the underworld stuff as
mm,
well, and the fact that we're going to different planets, um, and not just planets, but like moons and things like that. Um, and then they're using more and more, like it's hundreds of years of history, and it's funny that they're still like the stories they go back to of like heroism and stuff are these old ass to us Roman and Greek stories like the Odyssey, right?
yeah.
um
Yeah, it
but
seems like they like basically scrubbed all the stuff that they didn't like. Just kept they got the first sovereign was really into Greek and Roman literature, and it's like, all right, let's do this. Achilles is a cool guy. We should do that,
yeah.
which is funny. Uh, I guess we can move on unless you got anything else. But closing thoughts, I think the world building was much needed because we got some, but was mainly in the school. So getting more of the colors, getting more of like the politics of the world was really good for me.
Yeah. All right, we
Yeah.
can move on to characters. We can talk about characters. So what I was going to say earlier, just a few things. Um, these all kind of deal with Darrow. So let's just talk about Darrow.
Okay.
Um, first off, uh, twice now, Darrow has believed that Mustang has betrayed him. You know, in the first book and now in this one. Um, technically in this one twice. Uh,
Yeah.
but it ends up being once because Cassius, but then knowing that Cassius had teamed up with the Sovereign and then that she was with the sovereign, but then not. And it really, you know, I don't get a sense that he's going to really be able to trust anybody. I mean, we got that one chapter with Severo
Yeah.
where he did end up trusting. But this whole with him, there's a lot, and this goes into the theme, but uh, of trust. And there's even a chapter titled Trust, but um, trust issues with Mustang. He knows Tactus doesn't. He doesn't trust the Jackal because obviously, why would you
Yeah.
trust the Jackal? Um,
Uh,
he was betrayed by Harmony, basically. Let's see. Tactus betrayed him. I don't know if I said that.
yeah.
He betrayed Rock,
Yeah.
even though Rock was like, I don't care. Like right after Rock said, it doesn't matter what you do or say, we're still brothers.
Yeah. I
And then
mean,
Rock disappeared. Like Rock shows up so much later after the gala. And I was like, where the fuck has he been?
well, he was unconscious.
Yeah, but who wouldn't found him? And how did like
It's
there
because they go back to the manor and Rock is there, and that's why he's there. It's kind of funny because he betrayed Rock, but he didn't because he was like, "I'm gonna blow myself up, so I want to save your life." Um, but then obviously, that goes awry. Yeah, and then there's him and God, I forget her name all the time. Victra.
Victra?
Victra, them learning to trust each other. We got a second love interest. But yeah, they're in this is interesting because we jump forward 2 years. So he's like already we missed the split with Mustang. We just kind of get told about it. Um, and he's trying to
Apparently
do
didn't like actually develop into a relationship. Like
yeah, it was always like a will they, won't they, then they didn't. But they definitely will. I mean, probably at the end of this book they're together. And her father's dead. Well, that's my prediction, but we'll save it for for predictions. But yeah, so like we missed that, and then he's like trying to become the hardened golden guy to get the fleet, and then that fails. So yeah, he's got a lot of internal. So he doesn't have Severo, so he's kind of like a giant dick at the beginning of this book. And then he gets the shit kicked out of him in the shower, and his life's gonna end. He's not having a good time to start this novel.
no, I do think chapter 5, Abandoned, where he's they're returning. I think they're on their way to the moon or on to Luna, and he's like basically shunned, and he's sitting there and he hears people talking about him, and then he's thinking about Mustang. I thought even that short chapter, I think it was like 4 pages, did so much for character development for Darrow. Like showed
Yeah.
internally like his emotional strife and things. And I think that one chapter did way more for him um, than any other part of either of the books so far.
Yeah, that and when he decides not to blow himself up. When he's thinking about doing it, he's super depressed because he learned out his unborn child was killed. Just screwed up on it. His part. Uh, That's you. Okay, whatever. But yeah, he's all depressed with that, and he's thinking about all the people, like all of his friends, he's gonna betray, and he's like, no, there's gonna be a better way, which is
Yeah,
kind
Io
of,
could have totally just died with that knowledge to herself.
or just like sacrifice yourself 9 months later.
That too, but
She
I
didn't
mean,
have. She didn't have. She basically killed herself, right? She
yes.
was like, I got whipped. All right, we're good. But I can also sing this thing that's gonna get me killed. Um.
But I mean, with that, it could have been
I
just
know she wanted
that
to.
opportunity, right?
Yeah, she wanted
Because
to unite the
the arch
Spartans and
governor was
Hero.
there,
Yeah,
and the Hollow Cube was broadcasting it, so it was the perfect time to do that.
yeah.
Um, but yeah.
I wonder if it's gonna turn out that like the Sons of Ares like put her up to it. Like they knew this was gonna happen, and like, hey, it could be a reveal. I don't know, but yeah, like I think Darrow, he's a fun main character. Um,
Well,
I like
didn't
it.
wasn't it the Sons of Ares? Wasn't Harmony talking about this, or was it somebody else was mentioning basically taking parents, like the dads, and saying, "You're gonna suicide bomb, or we're going to do stuff to your family."
Something like that.
Yeah, I think it was Harmony was saying that they did, or one of the Golds was saying that's what the Sons of Ares
Oh
are
yeah,
doing.
that was I think that was Augustus was like, we're gonna like false flag the Sons of Ares by like blowing up a bunch of stuff.
Oh, yeah, he was gonna go recruit Reds.
Yeah, and they were gonna like false flag
Okay,
for,
gotcha.
but then the Sons of Ares
I
actually
was
did.
second guessing myself there. I was
Yeah,
like,
that did
am I
happen.
am I thinking of real world shit? I
So
mean, that
much,
happens in the real world.
yeah, so much shit happens in this part of the book. But yeah, Darrow, I like Darrow. I think he's a good main character. I do wish this book had multiple POVs. I kind of miss that. But he's a good. If we're gonna have one, he's a good one.
There's a
Um,
couple times where I thought it did switch POVs, and I was like, wait, no.
yeah. And I guess we can move on unless you got anything else on Darrow.
Nope, no more with Darrow.
I
You could
guess
pick a
we.
guy.
I guess we'll pick from the main characters. We'll go with Mustang. Um, she is a very interesting character. She's always shrouded in mystery. At the
She
beginning of the
seems
book,
really intelligent,
yeah, really intelligent.
scheming.
She even calls herself a genius, which is funny. Um, which I guess she is. But yeah, so
She's always telling Darrow, "How could you think that I would do that?"
how can you think I betrayed you, even though I betrayed you like 5 times?
Like, I don't know.
But then psyched it out.
You didn't tell me what you were doing. Like
Yeah, it was fun.
optics.
Yeah, it was fun seeing her as a potential bad guy at the beginning with Cassius, and all that jazz. And then kind of learning the depths of her worming into the institute, and how she's what has dreams for a more I guess magnanimous future for everybody, and kind of down with the society. She's also a rebel, which is why Dara's gonna get with her. Um, yeah, I think she's a cool character. Curious to
Uh,
see.
I know we've got the predictions
Yeah,
section later, but
we could pepper in that.
since we're talking about Mustang, when do you think he reveals to Mustang that he's a red?
I thought it might have happened this, but it didn't. Um, I think it's gonna happen when like
In this book or
there.
the
Yeah,
third
I
book?
think it's gonna happen in this book. All right, I think they're gonna kill her father and like usurp the house. So he's gonna tell her before that, maybe in like the next coming chapters. Um, and then like they're gonna get together and become like leaders of the rebellion and for a better future or something like that. But I think it has to have. So now that Severo knows, I think it's gonna happen fairly soon.
I mean, Severo knew
Yeah,
for a while. He gave Darrow the opportunity to
yeah.
tell him outright.
I think it's gonna be one of those things where like he almost gets together with her and then like stops himself and is like, I gotta tell you something, and tells her that explains everything, and she like freaks out for a little bit, but then they get over it, and then like they go kill her father and maybe the jackal, and it's gonna be cool.
So he goes to, so you're predicting he tells her before the father or brother are dead, and then
Yeah,
the killing of those one or both of those brings them back.
they're gonna like they're gonna like almost have sex, right? Like maybe he's gonna like save her life, and then like in the aftermath of that, they're gonna like almost have sex, but he's gonna like stop himself and be like, "I gotta tell you something." He's gonna tell her, and then she's gonna be like, "Oh, you actually do care," and like my dreams of this democracy or new more equitable world also fits with you. We're cool. And then she's gonna be like, oh shit, but my father is just a war tyrant, so we're gonna have to kill him. And that's kind of
All right, so do you think there's also still going to be that love triangle that was trying to be set up, like with Victra? Even though Darrow was like, it's set up that Darrow shut it down, that he
yeah.
said, he told Victra, I love you, basically said, I love you like a sister. Like you're a sister to me. That's what I think of you.
Yeah. I don't think so, just because he's like so not interested in her.
I
Uh
mean, he kind of is. Like, whenever he was about to jump out the ship, as he was there, he's like, ah, fuck it, I might die. Might as well kiss this bitch.
no, she kisses him and he's like, well, I couldn't stop it, so I went with it. It was kind of nice. That's kind of basically what it said. Like he's like
I read
doesn't
it as he was like, well, yeah, she's kissing me. I didn't really want it, but you know what? I might die, so fuck it. I'm
yeah.
gonna go with it. Like,
Basically, but like he is like I don't, I don't see I see her maybe with I don't know. She's gonna get with somebody. Now that Quinn's dead, maybe she'll get with Severo. Or like maybe with the giant Ragnar guy, which would be funny. Um, but yeah, I don't see him doing a love triangle that like maybe there'll be a little bit of it, but it'll get like squashed soon.
I think like I want to feel that there's gonna be a love triangle somewhere, and I can't think of any other.
I mean, we had it, but then they killed it off with Quinn and Rook and Severo.
Yeah. See, I didn't get much between Severo and Quinn until
Yeah,
like she was dying, right?
yeah. We can move. Let's see. I think we can move on to Severo if you want. Um,
Yeah, we can.
but yeah, I like Mustang. I I see her kind of as basically the second lead of the book. Um,
I would
I think
agree.
it. I think it's very cl the characters have now very clearly picked up who's like Dara's the main character, she's the second main character, Sever is like the third main character. And then we got all the tertiary like Victra and Rook and all this other, and now the fucking
Jackal,
the Jackal and fucking the big Ragnar.
Ragnar,
Um, but
and
yeah,
Orion.
yeah. That, Sever is weird. Like I agree with you. Like I like him and kind of. I just don't. He's not really a character. So hopefully he becomes more. He's just like I'm a small dude that likes to kill people, and I like Darrow. I like that's his entire character. And apparently loved Quinn off screen. Because yeah, I didn't get it either.
Yeah, I mean, I like him a lot. Um, but
He's cool.
he does some cool shit, but
Yeah,
he's not like it's basically he's basically talked about as doing cool stuff. Like
yeah,
we don't see it much. We see it some right after they board the ship, and he
yeah.
does some cool shit. And Darrow's like, "Oh shit,
He did some
okay."
cool shit in book one too.
Yeah, but it was. most of that, I mean, the horse stuff was cool, but a lot of the stuff he did
It's
was
off screen.
told by another
Yeah,
character that he did.
yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, Severu, yeah, is like a character. He really feels like a character. Like if you were like 13, you'd be like, this dude's so badass. He like has a wolf pelt, and he's like a silent assassin and just goes and like kills people and like he's like crazy and has one eye and he probably has a cool eye patch. He's like more of like a set dressing than a character right now. It's just like, oh yeah, Severo's cool. And that's like it. So hopefully with this like reveal that he was recruited by Dancer and he's actually a gold that turned um you get some more of him and becomes like an actual character. Because yeah, I agree with you. Right now he's just kind of like a dude.
Yeah,
Like but
he's a cool guy.
he's cool. And I like the Howlers. Even though none of the rest of them besides Quinn, I could remember their names, like Pebble or some shit. I don't know. I think that's one
Pebble,
of them.
Weed, Clown.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe they'll become characters. I kind of doubt it. Um. Yeah. See, the only two remaining, or I guess we could do one. Is the new character of this novel, Victra, who I think is really cool. I like how she's got similar to her sister, but not quite as crazy. And like I like the dynamics with like her family and learning about her house and how she has her own money and shit like that. She seems really cool. So I was curious what you think of her.
Yeah, I like her too. Um, she's very forward. Um, you know, almost like a almost like a feminist or not, I mean not just like women need a rule, but I am an independent woman. I know what I want. I'm gonna go after it. I'm gonna be overly sexual towards Darrow to a point where he's kind of uncomfortable with it, but I don't care. Um, but and then also when she first is talking to Darrow and she's like, "Yeah, my sister. I'm just like," or I think he may have said, "You're just like your sister." She's like, "Yeah, except blah 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 blah."
Yeah,
And then she's just got that she's got a gleam in her eye for Darrow. Um, almost similar to Severo, like
yeah,
it's like this is a cool guy. I'm gonna follow him because he's badass and he's doing something different.
yeah, and yeah, she seems really interesting. I feel like we're gonna get more of her because we got a little hints of like why she is the way because of the way her crazy family is. She has to kind of like have a bunch of walls. So, I mean, maybe Derek could have a harem. I mean, why not, right?
Yeah,
We could have a Randall Thor uh, going on.
we could. That's a possibility. A thruple.
A throuple, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he might like Robert Jordan, want some thruples. So, that'll be fun. But yeah, I like her. I think she's interesting. She's like now that Wynn's dead, like the second female lead of this series right now. We'll see if she survives. And then the last character, I think, unless you got anybody else, would be the Jackal. And
I was
I
gonna
thought,
talk about I mean, we could talk about the Jackal, but I was gonna talk about the dynamic of Pliny and Leto
yeah, we can do
being in
that.
there as well. Because that's very odd. We'll save the Jackal for last,
Okay.
just because I brought up Pliny.
Yeah.
Pliny really seems like the Hand of the King, Hightower in
Hmm.
House of Dragons, where he's like,
Yeah.
"I'm gonna insert myself into this house," and how he gets his son to be the heir of House Augustus is absolutely insane.
Yeah. I don't understand why the Augustus guy, Nero. why he allows him to like actively sabotage Darrow and ruin his reputation, and like when like he needs Darrow and like spent resources recruiting him, like it makes no sense why he would allow it. That's the one big negative I have about this book. Like it, like Darrow's not going to become the heir. Like he's a nobody, right? He's going to become like the heir's head general. Why would you like fuck over your house so hard? I don't
Right.
get it. I don't get it.
I mean, I mean, he's got that je ne sais quoi. Like Darrow's got that je ne sais quoi. It's just
Yeah.
something about him that people like this animal magnetism, right? Like, and whether you like it or you are afraid of it, people are reacting in these different ways. But yeah, it's definitely strange that Augustus lets him
Yeah.
be like almost like I don't think it's magical like Worm Tongue does with Theoden, but
Yeah.
it's just like why is this happening?
Like maybe he wants to test Darrow, see if he can overcome it, but then you're just like cutting off your nose to spite your face type thing. Because Augustus knows that Darrow's not gonna become heir. Even if he like gets with Mustang, she's not the heir because Leto is. So like it doesn't really matter unless he and if he thinks like Darrow's gonna overthrow it, then he should just kill him instead. So like I don't know. It was weird. I like Pliny. He just kind of doesn't make much sense. I think he's gonna get fucking murdered by the Jack really soon, which is gonna be fun.
Well, who who was
Because
it that he shot with the
he
blow
shot Leto.
and killed, and then he got killed, right?
Yeah, yeah. He caused Leto's death, which is
Did
really weird.
Karnas kill Leto?
I think so.
Okay.
Which is just funny. It's more Dune stuff.
Yeah,
Duke,
Karnas is badass.
yeah, Duke
So
Leto Atreides.
Karnas, so the well, no, I was gonna say Karnas was like the why can't I remember the name? The why why can't I remember the name of the family in Dune? The bald
Uh
guys.
oh, Harkonnens.
Yeah.
It's like the Beast Raban.
Yeah, like
Or what can I call it?
the
Uh,
Rock's not the Rock, the Batista's character, right?
yeah, that's the Beast Raban.
Yeah. And then Cassius is like the guy that played Elvis,
Yep, Sting.
Austin, whatever.
Yeah,
That guy looked badass in Dune too.
yeah.
But we're
Yeah.
not talking about Dune. Oh, anyway.
Even yeah, but talking about more, this book he did. I have a feeling he took a lot from Dune, which is fine because it's a good book. It's very vastly. It's not the same thing as Dune, so it's fine to take inspiration from great literature.
Yeah.
But
All right.
you can definitely tell
The Jackal?
the Jackal. Yeah, so he's really interesting. I like that he like purposefully kind of faded from the limelight. He's now like he's basically the shadow broker from fucking Mass Effect, and he's just like buying up media outlets, and he's like, I'm gonna do everything from the sidelines. And his dealings with Dara is really interesting. Um, I wish we got more interactions with him and Mustang, but then again, we don't get anyone but Dara's perspective, so. Um,
It also reminds me of Darth Maul after Darth Maul was resurrected
True, yeah.
after being cut in half.
That was crazy. And he
Spoilers
got he got
for episode one.
got cut in half and flung down a like fell down a 1,000 yard pit or whatever. Somehow survived.
Yeah. And became a Lord of the Underworld, like
Yeah, yeah,
with mechanical spider legs for the bottom.
definitely. So yeah, and he it's interesting because he's kind of like Mustang, where he also wants to kind of burn it down, but he's kind of like the Joker, where he's like, I just want to watch the world burn. So yeah, his he's gonna be fun. I think he's a fun villain ally to this novel.
Yeah, it was very interesting to see his change from being such a like in book one, he was the villain, right? And there was such a mystique air about him, like, oh my God, what he's so badass. Who is he? And then we meet him, and then it's like, oh my God, are we gonna make it out alive? Oh, he got away. He's gonna come back and kill us. And now it's like, oh, you know what? Hey, I just rescued you from here, and we're gonna be allies with this for now. I know we're not gonna be friends, but we can work together to get ahead of this because we both want these things to happen.
Yeah,
How's that sound to you? Okay, yeah, cool, I guess. Like, um,
yeah. I also like that he's not like he never. In book one, we find out he never was like a fighter. He was just getting kind of like all the proctors are giving all this shit, and he was like kind of like a leader, but less than like an actual fighter. And in this, he kind of like Mustang is using his smarts to like do all the behind the scenes shit instead of like Darrow, who is all brawn. But yeah, I like it. I like all those characters. Honorable mention in is we get to finally meet the Sovereign, and she's really cool and interesting. I was kind of excited to like work with her for a while, but that that was like gone in a chapter. Um, so yeah, I think she'll be a fun villain. I'm guessing she'll be the villain for book two and three, but maybe she'll die this book. I don't know.
yeah, we'll see.
Uh, yeah, we'll see.
I mean, she's obvious. I feel like she's gonna be one of those that does die. Um, but yeah, that was a wild ride of Darrow falling out of favor in House Augustus, allying with the Jackal, then allying with Harmony, but then betraying Harmony, saving the Jackal, then
Then allying with Harmony to blow himself up and betraying her again. Uh,
yeah, and then seemingly going, hey, the Sovereign seems to be have a head on her shoulders. Oh wait, no, she's bad. Okay, now I'm back with House Augustus and I'm with the Jackal
yeah,
and
and
Mustang.
with Mustang, yeah, it was
Like,
it was crazy. It was like triple, quadruple crosses going on around.
yeah,
Yeah,
crazy. All right, you want to move on to the next thing?
yeah, we can.
Like writing styles, passages, quotes, or foreshadowing.
Yeah, so this part would just be general overall writing style impressions, pacing, like anything like that. If you saw any cool quotes, put them in there. We can talk about them. I don't have anything for that right now because I did not see anything. But overall, I re I like the pacing a lot because it's freaking fast. I do think it could like slow down like a touch. I think there needs to be for me because I really like characters. I wish there were more character moments, and maybe we'll get it coming up with like when everybody finds out that he's a red or whatever. Like we'll get actual character moments instead of everybody lying to each other. But as far as the writing style, you kind of said it before. It does feel a little bit more grown up. There's more descriptions and kind of more things like that. I do find sometimes
Scenes are more drawn out too.
yeah, yeah, things are more drawn out. I do feel like sometimes I will lose where people are and what's happening sometimes. Most notably, I I didn't realize for when I'm reading it that like the ship that like Mustang and them were on like docked into the big ship, and then they were like fighting on the hangar deck and shit like that. I was like, oh, okay, the ship got in. I don't know when that happened or whatever. So that was a little. It's
Oh,
like out. Yeah,
I picked that up. There's other things there where I was like,
yeah. I probably just missed it, but like I was reading, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, the ship's gonna dock, or oh, the ship's already docked, and they're like fighting. All right, cool. So like sometimes like one of Sanderson's big strengths in combat is you always kind of know where everybody is, and the spatial recognition is really strong. Sometimes I feel you can lose like shit because it's just kind of like shit goes, and it's like when they like jump down and like he like fights all the grays, and like the dudes are like the Howler's like covering him in the shields, and he like jumps up and talks to her. It's cool, but sometimes it's a little too chaotic for me.
yeah, I don't think his action writing is refined yet.
Yeah.
Maybe it will get there. Um, it's just like I think he knows what's going on in his head, and then maybe he just forgets to include other people into certain times, and then you're like, oh yeah, I didn't do that. Let me put it over here because then it didn't make sense to intersperse it. Um, but I
Yeah.
mean, Sanderson utilizes those line breaks and point of view changes to get you following the entire like sequence of
Yeah.
action.
I mean, this is also Sanderson's not a first person novel, um, or one perspective novel. So like when Darrow is disorder, you are also disordered. Um, so like there's a lot of times where it's like I got like smacked and I look around and there's like five people dead, and it's like it's cool. Like I generally understand what's going on and everything. It's a little chaotic sometimes. That I have to like reread some stuff.
No, I agree. I agree. Um, I already mentioned chapter 5 was great. Um, the and we talked about the writing being better. I'll point it out again. I think I might have mentioned earlier, but even though the writing is better, I find it hard to predict what's going to happen next and don't see much foreshadowing. Um, because right when we think, oh, okay, this is where it's going, let me see this established, and then I'll figure out what's going to happen. We're already
Doing it, yeah.
doing something different.
Yeah, I kind of felt that way when like like he gets he gets like the glow cube from like a Mustang, and like all the howlers show up, and then they like just leap down, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? And then it's like, oh wait, we have a bag. And you're like, what the fuck, where'd the bag come from? And then like turns out to be the grand. It was very like just like crazy shit was happening. And I was like, oh okay, all right, yeah, that's what,
It's like,
yeah.
who's in the bag?
Who's
I'm
in the
like,
like? What's the bag? Where'd you get the bag from? Yeah, he'll like leave out scenes and just like have the information there, which is fine, but sometimes can be a little like disjointed when you're reading.
also, no, I was confused because with that bag, there was one there was one paragraph where instead of talking about the bag, he had said, and the gift from Mustang.
Yeah,
And then another paragraph later, it was like a gift from Severo. And I'm like, who gave him this again? Like, and I mean, it's obviously a typo and a mistype,
yeah,
one of them, but it that doesn't when you have those typos and mistypes, it doesn't help the already missing things. Like it adds to the confusion.
yeah.
So
Like it's not terrible, but it does sometimes you have to get used to the style. Um,
I do like, even though I didn't write any of the specific quotes down, the Latin phrases.
hmm,
Um, those are fun. I like the. I think it's funny the Forrest Gump style explanation right after they'll say it in Latin, and then right after it's like there's the
Yeah.
English
It's
translation.
it's a little weird in the audiobook because it's just like blah blah blah. It's like Heart of Wolves or you're like, what? And it's like, oh okay. Yeah. But when you're reading it, it makes total sense.
Yeah, I
Um
haven't listened to the audiobook yet.
I um got learned from the library the like dynamic reading. It's not great for your first time, but it's kind of cool because like each character has a different voice.
Okay.
It's one of those, and it has like sound effects and shit. Um, but yeah,
Some of
it's
those I haven't listened to a full book of that, but some of those or samples that I've listened to, the sound effects like were too loud compared to the what.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, like I was listening to, it, I was like, I'm gonna read it because this is a little crazy, but I think it'd be pretty cool. I think like Dara's like Irish. It's kind of funny. Um, but yeah, yeah, I do kind of agree with you that how like crazy and chaotic it is. It definitely does kind of not give you time, not doesn't he doesn't have time to foreshadow anything because everything's crazy. Like some novels will have like a plan and like stuff will happen and like downtime and oh is that thing gonna happen and like but this is just like full steam ahead, which is fun and also kind of crazy. But yeah, overall, like I said, I enjoyed. I do think the writing style is definitely improved. I don't know if Red Rising was his first novel, but yeah,
Seems like it.
yeah, I could see it.
Let's
Um,
see. Was Red Rising? Yes, it was his first novel.
yeah. So good to see him improve.
And it does say here online when you search that it's the Hunger Games and in Ender's Game. It's compared to.
So, yeah, definitely. Um,
That's
so
all
that
I have for that section. If
yeah,
you had any more,
no, I'm good. Um, I'll look out for some fun quotes for next podcast. Um, but yeah, we already touched a little bit on the themes of like trust and trying to do better. Don't become the monster, don't kill the monster unless you become the monster type stuff. All
pretty
really,
much what I wrote there. It's
yeah,
like like I wrote down. It's not necessarily redemption because he's not evil. He hasn't done evil things,
yeah,
um, but like change of heart almost is like one of the themes. Like his initial reaction and other characters' initial reactions as well is to get revenge. And with Darrow for sure, he starts to understand that most people care about something in life, and like killing lots of people isn't the answer. So almost like this idea of just war in general, right? You have countries that are run by governments, and it's like, okay, these groups of people in these countries are doing evil things, and so you go to war with them, but it's not the evil people and the people necessarily I guess the army on one side that wants to stop the evil is is on board for it, but the people that are under conscripted sometimes, usually the army, like the evil
yeah,
person, the evil government sending the army, and they're not necessarily going, yeah, we're on board with this. We're gonna go out. It's like, hey, here's a gun. Go out there and serve your country. Um,
yeah. It's like how you know, like World War II or something. We were not going to war and killing Germany. We were going to stop the Nazis. The Germans. A lot of them were bad. A lot of them were conscripted. You know, under a fascist regime type thing. So you kind of learn, and he's learned this with Mustang and the other goals that he's befriending. That like just because they're a goal that oppresses him doesn't mean they're particularly evil. They're trapped by their systems of government and their upbringing. We get Victra and how her upbringing kind of shaped her, but she's kind of like broken a little bit away from it, unlike her sister. So we get a lot of like that of like how systems will affect you and how you can break from it and become a better person, better society.
Yeah, I'd say like one example of what that reminded me of, like if you look at the movie Cruella, I don't know if you ever watched that,
I've heard of
but
it.
it's basically a Disney movie and it focuses on how Cruella de Vil became who she is. And there's other examples. I can't think of any right off the top of my head right now, but and I don't remember the details of the movie Cruella, but
They've been
it
doing a lot of those, like
gives,
Maleficent was one,
yeah, so it gives you the backstory,
Wicked.
Wicked, yeah, of how these villains became the villains they are. So it gives an explanation and humanizes the villain. It does, I don't think it necessarily, you know, gives an excuse for the heinous things that the villain has done after they became a villain, but it's like, oh, the circumstances of this person. Um, oh, here was one. My wife and I watched the Ed Gein season of Monster, and like he did some heinous, messed up stuff. Um, but his mother was a um, religious fanatic that basically abused him and used religion against him to tell him that he was bad for having certain feelings and that he shouldn't do things. And, it fucked up his head mentally. And so his worldview at that point is drastically different. And he acted in accordance with his understanding of the world based on how his mother treated him. Now, it's not an excuse to go, oh, okay, well, we'll just forgive you for all of those things. That's just how you're raised. Like, oh, well, now we understand how it got there.
Yeah. Yeah, we also got a little bit of that with Darrow talking with Titus, I think is his name, at the gala.
Tactus,
Tactus, and they were like, he's like, yeah, we were just like two
his
killers.
brothers,
Yeah. What?
where his brothers did something to him, is it?
No, no. He's
Oh,
just like, no, we just get learning more about people. He's like, yeah, we're me and you, Darrow, we're killers. We're just gonna like wreck shit. And I was like, yeah, well, maybe, because he's, I don't know. That was a fun conversation.
but what wasn't there?
And he was that's where we learn a bit more about the duty, the son that Darrow killed, and I was like, and Tactus's worldview where he's like, yeah, he was just weak, man. Like he deserved to die. Like I don't really care about you. I'm kind of pissed off that my mom like loves him so much because he needed to die, man. It's the survival of the fittest. It's kind of crazy. It was fun. Yeah, but yeah. I don't know. Got anything else?
Nope.
Some of the themes of redemption and fascism and love and mechs. War. All right. Now we have a little fun segment, which is what we're gonna call the Paperweights Approved of Athletic Feat of the Week or of the reading. So this is where we're gonna like put up some just really cool athletic feats that if you saw in real life, you'd be really surprised at. So what is yours, Brad?
Um, Mine was what you mentioned right before we started recording. Um, but I'm trying to remember the other one that was pretty badass. Um,
So
I mean, I'll go with this, even though the uh scene with the stained, there was one thing where the stained like uh killed the
They killed like 60 guys. It's crazy.
yeah, and then the last gold, like he picked her up and like she turned around to hit him and just ignored the stab and everything. That was cool. But I'm gonna go with whenever um Darrow left with Evie and the Greys, and then he realized that she had put a bomb there,
Mm.
and he took the grav boots and basically jumped through and grabbed. I'm picturing a scene in a movie. I can't remember which movie, but basically spinning through the air is going and grabbing somebody and coming out the other side as it explodes, and saving Jackal's life.
That was cool. It sounds like The Matrix. Uh,
Could
like
be. I
uh, like when
think it
he
was like a
grabbed.
space thing.
Oh, maybe there's a lot of exploding cool stuff. But yeah, that was cool. Um, yeah. Mine. So the one I said before was when him and Severo get rocketed through space and then take a giant battleship. Was pretty athletic. I like how he's like, yeah, my body's rated for like 5 more Gs, so I shouldn't shit myself. And he's which was funny. Yeah, I guess the inertial dampeners are also really good in those suits because he flew through like 5 wings of the ship, which was funny. But I'm actually gonna go with his duel with Cassius, where he shows off his like he apparently trained with like the best duelist ever and was able to like catch up to him in 2 years and like beat the ever living shit out of him,
That
which
was
was
Lauren, right?
yeah, Lauren.
Yeah, and that was just glossed over. That was just like that would have been cool. Like I don't know if he was just going for a oh my God, he trained, but the problem with that was I don't know anything about Lauren. Like
Yeah, we got a little bit last put like it's like yeah we're gonna train or whatever. But yeah, that's where like Flash like it's just like we keep saying it's or I keep saying it. This is like a Sanderson book. You would get like flashbacks and like of him training, and you'd be like,
or even a Scott Lynch book.
yeah, your Scott Lynch book would have that. Um, yeah, I hope we meet him because he's like the father of one of the Furies or something. Was that correct in that? Um,
Maybe he was a wasn't he the former Rage Knight?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what the Fury like. I'm confused at what the Furies are.
They're like the three badass protector ladies of the Sovereign.
Okay,
That's kind of it. They're like the three mini bosses. With that Aja lady, and I don't know if we learned the other two names,
okay.
but that's Greek mythology of the Furies. I think there's three of them. Um,
I know there's the Fate sisters, but
and
there's three of them. But
uh, yeah, yeah, ancient Greek. Uh, yeah. Yeah, so they're cool. We'll probably get more of them in this book. But yeah, I think that was a cool fight. So I think I'll go with that. Showing off his moves. And I like how
I'll approve.
it kind of reminded me a little bit of Adolin when he was fighting in the pit or whatever, and he was like, I'm not gonna do the fancy duel, I'm just gonna maul that guy, and he just like fucking mauls him. Because like Cassius couldn't he was trying to do all the fancy moves and just got like owned. So that
Yeah,
was really fun.
yeah, it was pretty badass. And he took his arm too.
Yeah. Was fixing to kill him, and I love how he was taunting the mom. He's like, "You're just gonna watch me kill your son?" And just like takes off his arm. You're gonna do that? It was crazy. I was,
Yeah,
I was, I was like, "Is Cassius gonna die?" That's kind of
I
wild.
thought he was gonna die.
I thought he was too, but all right. Unless you got any other feats of strength or dexterity you want to see, we can
No.
move on to one of your favorite moments of this reading.
So I actually wrote down that the scene that was athletic, that was one of my favorite moments. So I'll talk about the other one that I wrote down, which was in chapter 12. Um, that one was completely insane. Um, and the specifically when Jackal poisoned Leto as he was rushing towards Karnas, like
Yeah,
that just added to
had a little dart.
all of the chaos. I'm trying to remember everything that happened in this
I
chapter.
love how
Blood for
that.
blood.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's when he went back to the gala. Like he
they're like all
was,
running away. Yeah,
yeah.
uh,
He was like,
yeah,
I chose civil war. Like that was right after he decided that he wasn't going to um blow up the gala, and he returns, and then that's when he started fighting. So
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
mean, I think those like saving the jackal from the bomb, the whole chapter 12 where he has the fight in the gala with Cassius and um the flying through space and through the bridge viewport. Those are the coolest moments that happen to be the athletic feats of the book. But
yeah. Definitely, those were cool moments.
did you have
Uh,
others?
yeah. I mean, those were all some of my favorite hype moments. I'll think. I think him deciding not to blow up the gala was a really good moment for me because it really kind of solidified Dara's character and kind of let him grow, move forward. Because it seems like he was stuck in this kind of like rage cycle, and you kind of it's like a lesser extent to like the one that Rand has in the end of what book whatever, which we won't spoil for Wheel of Time. But it kind of reminded me a little bit about that, where like he could become like the monster, but he decides to become like the hero. So I thought that was a really good moment. I thought it was written really well. So I'll do that. But also all the cool fights.
Yeah.
All right, then if we got any least favorite moments that we can complain about, we do love to complain. Um,
Yeah. So if you want to take one first here, since I took favorite first.
sure. I think mine is we kind of talked about the planey, backstabby thing that doesn't really make much sense. It just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I just kind of broke me out of the immersion a little bit because it was like too kind of mustache twirling. And then like Derry was like too stupid to like realize it was happening for like 2 years. Like I think if it was a little bit more subtle, I would have liked it better. But this book does not do subtle, so it's fine. Other than that, I think I think just the transition from like oh like I'm working for the Sovereign and then like transition from that to like oh Severo and the Howlers are here and Mustang and we got to go like save it. I think that was a little clunky and too fast. I think that could have used another a little bit more uh spread out, a little bit more meat on the bone for that.
Yeah, I would agree. I would expand that just to most of the pacing there. Um, like I liked it I like fast pace at some points, but I like to establish a certain thing for a little bit at least and go, all right. Because like in the first book, the Institute, the game at the Institute, that was established and they're there. It's like, okay. Like they didn't go, oh, this is gonna happen. Oh, you know what? Nope, we're out. We pieced out before it was over. Like you'd be like, what? Like
Yeah.
a lot of that was happening here. So I'll
Yeah,
agree with you. My least favorite moment is a little different, but
I was gonna say like it was like he was like had like the pink prostitute and was like I'm not gonna have sex with her. Oh, I got a bunch of money. I can like recruit people. Then I was like, did you freeze? Um.
you froze.
Oh, I froze. Right. Did you hear me or did I repeat
Yeah,
myself?
the audio was good.
All
The
right.
video was.
That was crazy. But anyway, like it was like that, and then I was like, oh, Severo shows up, and now we're leaving. It's like, whoa, it was crazy. It was a little too jarring for me. But yeah, what's your least favorite?
Um, so I talked about it before. So Darrow drugging Rock to save him, I think is really well done. But like, and it's not that it's not it's not my least favorite in the sense of I wish or that it was like poorly written or anything. It's just I hate like it makes me feel like oh like feel for Darrow because it's like oh man I really hate that moment for him. Um, it's well done, but I hate it for Darrow because like even though this time he's doing it to save a person, um, it's still a betrayal. So like, killing Julian was a betrayal. Uh, but it
Kind of.
was, I mean, and kind of, like he liked Julian, right? And
Yeah.
and then they were put in this place, and he just cold-heartedly like killed him because he's like, this is what I have to do. This is the exercise here. But I hate doing this. Here, and then that caused, Cassius, who he was friends with, once Cassius found out, it caused them to be enemies.
Yeah, which
Here,
I still am like, why? Like you all had to kill somebody. It sucks you killed your brother. You just want him to die? Like just give up? Like it seems like it's something you would just in this world where life is so cheap, it seems like you would get over.
yeah, and it's one of those moments that it just makes Darrow seem a tragic character. Like he just can't win. Um, reminds me a lot of like Kaladin, right? Kaladin tries to
Yeah.
do the right things all the time, and then this like he'll do it one way and go, well, the consequences for that, he's like, well, that wasn't the right way to do it. So the next time he comes across a similar decision, he goes, well, the last time I did that and this happened, so maybe I'll choose this and it'll be better. And then it's something else goes wrong. And he's like, well, fuck. No matter what I choose, something's going wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say like that moment was fine. I don't it's one of the tropes of like, oh, you gotta like push the people away to save them type shit. That's in everything. But one thing I'm not really looking forward to is like the melodrama now that Quinn is dead and Rook blaming Darrow and it could be a bit much. Hopefully they like kind of get over it. And he becomes cool again or he probably dies. Um, but yeah, I agree with you there that it is tough being Darrow. He gets screwed over a lot. But he didn't blow himself up, so that's good.
Yeah. Hooray for not suicide.
Not too sad. All right. And just got any other complaints? We can move on to predictions.
Yep. Let's
All
go.
right. So I've already given some to where I think that Darrow and Mustang are gonna kill off her father and like lead the Mars faction at the end of this book.
I
What
could
do you
see
got?
that.
And they're together. They're like together at the end of the book.
I think there's gonna be I think there's gonna be a moment where he tells her he's a red and she's not gonna know how to deal with it, so they're gonna separate. I think in that moment, Victra is gonna come in. She's gonna know he's a red, but she doesn't care. And they have a little fling, but
Hmm.
then he makes his way back to Mustang, at which point they they've got to. They're probably going to have Jackal's help to kill the dad, but then they're going to have to um, kill the Jackal because I think what's going to happen is they kill the dad, they kill Augustus Nero, and then the Jackal tries to take advantage of that chaos and try to kill Darrow or Mustang, and then they kill him. Um, and I
Could see
think
that.
maybe Victra. So I don't know. I think maybe Victra might um be the one to kill the Jackal, but she
Ooh,
might die. She might die at the cost. That's the cost of her killing the Jackal. Like she
ooh, that'd
dies as well.
be fun and tragic. I think we're gonna learn who Ares is.
I think so too. I don't know who.
So for a little bit, I had a inkling. I don't think this is but I had a little inkling. I'm like, is Mustang Ares? Because that would be really interesting. Because she's like, because there has to be like a bigger backer than like, so maybe like a gold. But I was like, no, she's not it. And then I'm like, maybe it's his like uncle. That was like the drunk. That was like his cover. And he
Neryl.
like, yeah, he like set up Darrow to get the new body and whatever. Um, so those are like my two, and not really Mustang doesn't really count because I don't think so. But
I feel like Ares is not a red.
or it's like Fitchner maybe, which would be weird. I don't think so, but
I could see it being Fitchner or Severo. Severo would be weird,
yeah,
um, but also that would be interesting. That would truly explain why how Severo knew, but I think Severo's too young.
yeah. See, the weird thing is like story. We know the structures of story, so it has to be somebody we know, or it's just like, hey, it's Bob, and you're like, okay, cool. So like, I'm trying to think of all the people it could be that we would care about. And it's not like Nero. It's probably not Mustang or like the Jackal because they're too young. Um,
What if it was Dio?
which one's Dio?
Dio wasn't she? Isn't she the Eo's sister? Or
Oh, maybe I forgot their names.
Dio was the one that Eo told
Oh,
that
that
she
she
was
was pregnant.
pregnant. Yeah.
Maybe. And it has to be like somebody that's like off world and has like it has to be like in my opinion it's like a Mon Mothma type character. So maybe it's like no, we don't really know anybody though. Besides like maybe it's the Rage Knight that taught him. That's why he taught him.
Lauren.
Warren. Like maybe I could see that.
So do we think it's one of the people listed in the persona, dramatis persona?
Maybe
So we have Nero Augustus, we have Mustang, the Jackal, Pliny, Darrow,
it's
Tactus.
Pliny. That'd be so funny if it's
It's
Pliny.
Pliny.
Uh,
Um, we've got Victra, Rock, Tiberius. I don't think it's her. Um, let's see. Harness Kellen all Bologna. Then we have the Sovereign. We have the Sovereign's grandson, the Chief Bodyguard, Lorne, the former Rage Knight, Moira all Grimace, the Sovereign's chief politico. We haven't really met her yet.
yeah.
So I don't think it would be her because it's somebody that has been introduced so far.
I think it's gonna be. I think he makes the most sense.
Who?
Lorne, the Rage Knight, because like he taught Darrow, and he never takes apprentices or whatever, and like he was high up with the sovereign and stuff like that. I think he's the father of at least one of the Furies.
Yeah.
Um,
I was thinking it was the Sovereign before we met the Sovereign and got to know her more. I was like, that would be interesting if it was the Sovereign.
yeah, but it's definitely somebody we know. So I think we're gonna get the uh reveal of this book. It's another.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
hope
so
so. I think
so
so.
my remaining predictions is basically that the rest of this book is them consolidating power, ousting the dad, and then book three will be the big war with the Sovereign
And Bologna.
and Bellona and all that fun jazz.
Yeah. Then we'll
Yeah,
have the reds and we'll have some gold families and other colors. Um, I could see I could see the structure being like how Darrow recruited all the other houses in the Institute under him. Um, even though he didn't have a banner, right? And so people are going to know, like, when the war happens, they're going to know that he was a red raised to gold.
yeah,
And the ones that choose to follow him are going to know that and go, you know, he's not of our color, but we're going to follow him.
yeah, and just like how
And that's
you
book
got
three.
you got all the like other colors to rise up and like to take over the ship, they're gonna find out that he like cares about them and it doesn't see them as just like fodder. And I think maybe like the Obsidians are gonna become pretty important, like Ragnar and his mother or whatever they was talking about. Maybe they'll go see their like home planet or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. That was fun. I like that format.
Yeah, it was fun. Got to talk about it instead of just discussing what happened and trying to remember all the batshit stuff that happened.
Yeah. Yeah, if y'all if you got through this far and you liked it more, let us know. If you didn't like it more, let us know. Um,
Yeah.
comment on YouTube if you're watching it on YouTube or wherever you're listening to it. Then you can go to YouTube and comment there too if you want. Um, or you can shoot me a message on Instagram. It's at the.paperweights. Um, just shoot me a message and let me know. That's cool too. Um, and the next episode, we will. Sorry, I've been dealing with a headache. This is weird. Like from my ear up to the top of my head here, I just pulsing. Like,
That's not
uh,
good.
no, it sucks. But right as I was talking, that pulsed. We will be finishing the second half, parts 3 and 4 of Golden Sun. I think there's parts 3 and 4. There's at least a part 3. I know that for sure. Um, we'll finish that up and discuss that next week.
Hmm.
Please hit that like button, give us a follow, give us a share, comment if you want. All these things help our visibility and makes it fun if we get more engagement. Justin and I do this because we like to read and gives us something to a little more purpose and goal to reading than just reading. Um, get to discuss it with some people, almost like a little book club. Um, so anything you do goes a long way. Um, without this, we'd still be reading books. We'd just be not talking about them.
Doing what I did for the majority of my life, just kind of reading them and be like, I wonder if anyone actually reads.
Yeah, or
Turns out
go,
people
hey,
do.
hey, you read? Cool. Hey, here's some books to read.
Hmm.
And then like never get back to me like, oh yeah, I read that book. That was really cool. So um yeah, do all those things. Visit our sponsor, Mudcat Whiskers at mudcatwhiskers.com. Use code paperweights at checkout. It will save you 15%. And we'll see you back next episode.